kalau bos kau ni kan, he only singles you out and he embarrasses you in front of your colleagues. Lepas tu besok buat lagi. Even small tiny mistakes pun kan, dia macam tidak tidak jaga kau punya maruah. And then it's not just one thing. It's like a series of things. Kadang-kadang tidak ada pun diada-adakan. Saja mau memberikan kau pressure. Jadi mungkin benda tu satu demi satu sampai satu hari kau sudah tidak boleh tahan lagi.
Hey, what's up? You're watching the Sip Show. My name is Egan. All the rest of the hosts Tiada, because today is a very special episode. This episode is brought to you by the Sip Show. What was that?
Nasara Consult.
Nasara Consult. Pardon me. This is very informal. And also SERATA, an NGO that I'm very close with. Robert is actually outside with Fatihah. Hello. And we are going to be talking about apa tu CD?
Constructive Dismissal.
Constructive Dismissal. So let me just kasih start lah. We get the ball rolling, and with us today is Dr. Tahirah,
Yes.
Tabby,
Yes.
and also Mr. Marcus Wong, and they are experts in what they do. And saya baru jumpa dia like a few minutes ago. So in this few minutes, this is going to be life-changing for me. I'm certain of this episode. It's going to be wild. We're going to be talking about workers' rights. Is that something that relates to it?
Yeah. Specifically, workers' rights when faced with dismissal, unlawful dismissal.
Unlawful dismissal.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start. Okay. Doctor, you were saying about tadi pasal kalau boleh cakap PM lah kan?
Yalah.
Because my target audience is people like me.
Okay.
People yang really don't, I mean, not people yang broken English, tapi people yang tidak tahu pasal the technicalities about all these rights.
Faham.
So you were saying bukan orang yang gaji rendah saja kena, yang gaji yang apa bos-bos pun kena.
Ya, sebab itu saya punya PhD focused on penindasan dan juga pemecatan secara konstruktif yang berlaku kepada senior management.
Okay. Pemecatan secara konstruktif. Why does it sound so nice?
Tidak nice. It's very painful actually. Okay, dia begini. Unlawful dismissal, pemecatan yang tidak sah ni, dia ada dua jenis. Satu jenis ialah direct dismissal. So, kalau umpamanya majikan kamu kasih kamu surat bilang kamu punya perkhidmatan diberhentikan, ditamatkan kan? Okay, that is direct dismissal. Okay. Tapi that is also unlawful lah. Tapi itu nanti cerita lah podcast episod lain. Episod ni mau cerita pasal indirect dismissal. Jadi indirect dismissal ini majikan dia tidak kasih kau surat. Dia tidak, don't even vocalize it. Dia tidak macam directly kasih tahu kau, okay, saya sudah tidak perlukan perkhidmatan kamu. Nah, tu nak pintu berambus. Tidak, bukan begitu. Tapi dia akan tekan kamu, kasih kamu pressure, tindas kamu sampai kamu sendiri rasa kamu sudah tidak boleh lagi continue working di sana dan kamu sendiri berhenti.
Gaji dibayar?
Tidak dibayar.
Okay. Sorry.
Dia tidak dibayar. Okay. Good question. Okay, itu pun satu hal juga. Kalau macam, this constructive dismissal, pemecatan secara konstruktif ni, ada beberapa jenis. Okay? Right. Satu jenis ialah apabila majikan tidak membayar gaji, itu memanglah kan, Yang keduanya jenis yang dia menindas. Contohnya macam dia simpan kau dalam cold storage. Bermakna kau datang kerja, gaji kau jalan, tapi dia nak kasih kau kerja, and then dia macam pulaukan kau begitu. Jadi kau sendiri rasa malu lah, rasa terhina begitu kan. Ataupun mungkin dia akan melakukan sesuatu, contoh macam sexual harassment. Tapi kerana
yang disengajakan oleh company ni.
Sama ada sexual harassment atau harassment sahaja, non-sexual. Tapi itu cara dia menekan lah supaya kau sendiri keluar. Seolah-olah macam kau resign, tapi kau resign kerana tindak tanduk majikan kau. Jadi sebenarnya, dalam undang-undang, constructive dismissal atau pemecatan secara konstruktif ini berlaku apabila majikan itu breach the contract. Pemecahan kontrak yang dilakukan oleh majikan. So, pekerja berhenti bukan kerana dia mau berhenti, dan dia berhenti tu kerana majikan itu breach the contract, dan dia merasakan bahawa, pekerja itu merasakan bahawa due to the breach, dia sudah tidak boleh lagi kerja di sana. Dia sudah tidak tahan. Jadi bila dia berhenti tu, kadang-kadang dia berhenti kerana dia memang sudah tidak boleh fikir, kepala dia sakit sudah. Itu kita
psychological lah sudah.
Kita panggil impaired volition.
Impaired
volition. Okay, kalau kita ada volition, bermakna kita masih boleh decide mana yang betul, mana yang tak betul. Tapi kalau kita punya volition sudah impaired, bermakna kita sudah tidak boleh fikir, tidak boleh membuat
sudah
keputusan. Tidak boleh kita punya judgement sudah gone.
Lebih kurang tidak waras
Yes, actually yes. And mungkin hari ini kita boleh cerita, and then Mr. Marcus juga mungkin boleh contribute kesan-kesan constructive dismissal ini. Because this is not a technical or a legal forum. This is about, we want to tell the people, if you have been victimized by your employer, please do something about it. Because kesan-kesan constructive dismissal ini secara psikologi, secara mental sangat-sangat mendalam. Some people don't get over it.
Saya ingat pasal gaji saja.
Tidak. Lebih dari pasal gaji, yes. Breach of contract. And then tekanan-tekanan yang sengaja diberikan oleh majikan yang memaksa pekerja untuk berhenti.
So, let's say lah, you're experiencing benda-benda macam ni lah di office. Macam mana untuk, because kadang-kadang kan benda ni mungkin tidak terasa macam it's not secara langsung. Mungkin dia kamu nampak macam bukan masalah. Macam mungkin dia main-main, mungkin dia marah because dia bad mood ke apa. Tapi from what you're saying, macam benda ni dirancang, disusun,
sebab tu dipanggil konstruktif.
How do we sebagai pekerja mau kenal ini barang this is CD.
Pemecatan secara konstruktif dia ada dua jenis juga. Satu jenis ialah di mana ada perbuatan ataupun pemecahan kontrak oleh majikan tu berlaku sekali. Ada yang series. Macam contohnya
berjadual begitu.
Berjadual, bersiri-siri. Macam kampung pisang bersiri-siri begitulah.
Bikin takut pula kan?
Iyalah. Jadi contohnya, macam kalau kita kena marah bos. Mungkin satu hari bos tu dia bangun pagi dia jatuh katil kah? Jadi dia pergi kerja bad mood lah. Jadi dia masuk office, terus dia teriak-teriak sana. Kau kena marah pun depan-depan orang, depan-depan kau punya colleagues kan. Tapi satu kali itu sajalah. Mungkin kau sudah kerja pun 5-6 tahun, that one time saja. Itu bukan constructive dismissal lah.
You can let it slide lah.
Tapi kalau bos kau ni kan, he only singles you out and he embarrasses you in front of your colleagues. Lepas tu besok buat lagi. Even small tiny mistakes pun kan, dia macam tidak jaga kau punya maruah. And then it's not just one thing. It's like a series of things. Kadang-kadang tidak ada pun diada-adakan. Saja mau memberikan kau pressure. Jadi mungkin benda tu satu demi satu sampai satu hari kau sudah tidak boleh tahan lagi. In law, we call that the doctrine of the last straw.
The doctrine of the last straw.
That means the last straw that broke the camel's back.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's a series of breaches. Tapi itulah, betul kau cakap tadi. It is not very easy to discern between what tantamounts to constructive dismissal and what doesn't. Because kadang-kadang we have bad-tempered bosses. We have bosses who curses and swears.
Yes.
We have bosses who see the F word in every sentence. Dia suka pun dia F, dia tak suka pun dia F. So, kita pun kadang-kadang kita tengok circumstances juga. Kalau memang
ada bos yang mulut jahat, hati baik.
Correct. So, the key is there must be a breach of the contract. There must be a breach.
A technical breach begitulah.
Yes.
Okay.
There must be a breach. Kalau there's no breach, then tidak, bukan. And then you as the pekerja, kalau whatever the majikan did to you, whatever your boss did to you, kalau kau rasa macam kau masih boleh tahan, kau masih boleh kerja, itu bukan constructive dismissal.
Okay.
Yeah. So macam kau pekakkan telinga sajalah kan, masuk sini, keluar sini.
Kerja siap?
So bila bos keluar tanduk, itu tanduk kan kau tutup mata. I don't see the tanduk. So kalau dia bising-bising, kau masuk sini, keluar sini. Itu kiranya kau masih boleh manage lah. Your volition is still there, your judgment is still there. Tapi kalau it's so bad that it's so unreasonably bad that you can't continue working, that may tantamount to constructive dismissal.
Okay.
So dia ada 4 kriteria kalau kau mau claim constructive dismissal. 1, you must leave immediately after the breach, or if it's a series, after the last straw. You must leave your employment for no other reason except for the breach. No other unconnected reason. Kau tidak boleh, contohnya lah, macam, kalau kau ditindas, tapi kau tunggu dulu kau apply kerja, kau apply job street. Kau tunggu sebulan, 2 bulan, 3 bulan, 4 bulan, dan baru kau dapat offer. Sudah dapat offer, baru kau resign. Kau tidak boleh claim CD. Because you resign because you got an offer.
Okay.
Orang yang mangsa CD ni, ada offer kan, dia sudah tidak boleh tahan lagi, dia terus resign. Not because they want to resign, but because dia tidak boleh. Kalau dia pergi office, kepala dia pecah. Dia jadi gila. Because of the pressure. Because boss dia kasih dia pressure. Okay? So you must leave immediately. You must leave for the sole reason of the boss's breach. Apalagi 2, lupa sudah saya. Kadang-kadang kalau kau sudah terlampau dalam kau punya kajian kan, benda asas pun kau lupa. Nanti saya fikir dulu apa lagi 2.
Okay. Saya ada satu soalan lah, random question. Because I think some of my friends are facing this. Kalau it's not intentional, tapi itu bos, mungkin dia ada anger management issues.
Okay.
Dia tidak boleh kawal dia punya marah. And dia jenis yang main sembur. Tapi dia perlu dan dia bayar gaji dengan baik. Cuma dia punya attitude di office tu sangat-sangat teruk. Then can that be in the vicinity of this topic?
Okay, if you know that your boss has anger issues, it's just him. Maksudnya dia marah tu kerana dia tidak dapat kawal dia punya marah. Tapi dia tidak ada intention for you to leave your employment. So, constructive dismissal ni kan, kalau your boss humiliates you, contohnya, kerana memang niat dia tu supaya kau keluar. Dia tidak mau fire kau. Kalau dia fire kau, dia suruh kau berhenti, dia terminate kau, dia kena bayar pampasan. And also, dia mesti ada reason. Di Malaysia, there's no such thing as termination simpliciter. Maksudnya, di Malaysia, majikan tidak boleh memecat, memberhentikan pekerja sewenang-wenangnya. Mesti ada reason.
Okay.
Mesti ada what we call just cause and excuse. Jadi, sebab dia apa? Kalau macam business dia bankrupt, dia mau tutup kedai, sudah lipat gulung sudah, then itu ada reason lah kerana the business cannot go on due to economic reasons. Tapi kalau the business is still ongoing, everything's fine and dandy, just as one particular person, dia somehow dia tak suka tengok tu orang punya muka, dia mau terminate tu orang, tidak boleh. Jadi kalau this particular boss, dia somehow dia suka sama kau, and he knows he can't fire you, so he pressures you until you leave.
Okay, that's technical topic ni.
Yes. Begitulah. So kenapa saya fokus? Because earlier on you were asking about the ranks. You see, in Malaysia, bila orang cakap pasal labour law, when people talk about labour law, it is somehow always the perception of our community that only the lower level, the non-executive staff who suffer from work-related prejudices, victimization, and all that. But actually, senior management, even those in the C-suite, even directors, face the same thing.
Even senior
management, managers, general managers, C-suites, directors, they are also susceptible to being constructively dismissed, to being victimized at work, to being humiliated at work.
Sounds like office politics.
Yes, and it's a lot more than that. A lot more than just politics. Yeah.
I guess on that note, kita boleh pergi to Marcus.
Yeah.
So, why did you say, Marcus, this is such a pivotal moment for you?
Okay, Mr. Marcus is okay. I will say this freely as a researcher. I studied constructive dismissal in depth. I didn't, but I took it to a higher level, because most people, when they study labor law, they will study the law, its applications, its effects. I went a little bit deeper. It's also a critical discourse analysis, but I took the ethnographic angle. When I studied his case and many other cases, I actually I listen to the voices of the claimants. I don't just look at it as a case. I don't just look at it as a statistic, as a data. As a datum. I listened. I read between the lines. Okay, at that time he was just a character in the cases that I studied. One of the cases I studied.
Just a name there.
Just a name, just someone who claimed against his employer and won. Okay. So I took his voice out. Because there was when I did notes, there was this one, the voice of the judge, the voice of his employer, and his voice. Now, he was very, very well prepared, which is why I say his case was one of the more prominent cases I studied. He came to the court well prepared. Okay? And I think he was well prepared because he knew from day -1 that he was right. Okay? So he had everything. So, you know, when the judge wrote the grounds for his case, the grounds was so comprehensively written. I could have just taken his case out and did a whole thesis just on his case alone. Because his voice was very clear. Okay? How he felt, what they did to him, and the repercussions, the aftermath of what they did to him.
Wow.
It was so compelling until the judge clearly was moved by what he said and how he felt. and the effect of constructive dismissal on him.
So
I had several of these cases, but his case stood out for me. At that time, he was just a subject of my case. I didn't know. So you know what? When I finished my PhD, I thought I'm gonna find these people. It doesn't matter whether they won or they lost their case, but because of them, I got a PhD.
Betul?
If they didn't stand up for their rights, I won't be anywhere because this field is a very niche field, by the way. Bukan semua HR practitioner know about this, and bukan semua lawyer actually specialize in this. And I specialize in labor law, lagi mendalam because I specialize in constructive dismissal, not just any dismissal. I used to go around telling people that I'm a termination specialist. Scares the hell out of people.
Yeah.
I was on a flight once, and there was a very talkative passenger next to me. Yak, 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 yak. So then she turned around and she asked me, said, "What do you do?" I said, "I'm a termination specialist." Automatically she climbed up. The whole cabin fell silent. You can hear a pin drop. Yeah. So now I'm not just a termination specialist. I am a constructive dismissal specialist. It took me 5 years to do my master's and 7 years to do my PhD because of the lack of materials, the lack of academic study in the field of constructive dismissal. Not many people have gone into this. So, because of his case, I thought if it wasn't for him, I would never be able to get a PhD. So I started looking for him and a few others. I haven't managed to find the others. Unfortunately, one of them, also a banker, passed away 2 years ago.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Yes. So when his case went all the way to the federal court, if I'm not wrong, but it was his next of kin who took over the case. So I don't know, randomly, because you're a banker, and one of my uncles was also a banker. So randomly, I thought, hey, they must know each other. So I asked my uncle, and he said, "Oh, I know him." I said, "Why didn't I ask you 15 years ago?" But never mind. So he said, "Yeah, I know him. I have his wife's number." So I said, give. Give now, give. So he gave me the number. I contacted his wife, and one thing led to another, and here we are.
Voila.
So today is a very historical day for me. So people always, sometimes when they do research, case studies, right? They always look at the cases as two-dimensional documents and
Yes.
data. Today, this is my case.
It has
Live.
become 3D.
So thank you. I just
no
want
longer data.
Exactly. So officially, thank you, Mr. Marcus. Because of you, I got a PhD.
Welcome.
All right.
Yeah.
Without further ado, Mr. Marcus Wong.
Yes.
So, how are you such a celebrity? What? Tell us from the beginning.
Well, it happened quite a while ago. I don't know whether I can recollect it because it's many years ago. But I don't expect it that it has reached this level. But at that point in time, I was very sure that it is a constructive dismissal in my own mind. I'm very sure, I'm pretty sure. So that's why I took that part of going along constructive dismissal.
Hold on.
Yeah.
This is how long into your job that you noticed this thing?
I was with the bank for 23 over years.
23 over years.
Yeah, I rose from rank and file all the way up to the last held position as head of the business center.
Okay.
So there was a little bit of business realignment, they call it restructuring. But then it doesn't arise to closure of the business, right?
Okay.
So they are very much well, financially speaking, very much well off, I think. So as a result of that processes realignment, somehow I see there's some demotion that took place.
Okay.
Okay, there is some withdrawal of perks, and
Oh,
there is some changes in scope of responsibilities and duties, and there is a reduction in terms of authority limits. Okay, so I feel not satisfied with it. Okay.
so during these times, you started documenting sudah? You
Yes, I
take
have
notes
more or
sudah?
less taken some notes on it,
Okay.
making sure that it is well within the parameters
All right.
of that constructive dismissal. So until such time that I think the part is no longer there to reconcile, to remedy the situation, so I decided to walk off, just walk off like that. So
You didn't stay in the company.
I didn't stay.
Okay.
That's within that period of, as doctor says, it's the last straw. The last straw of the series,
Oh,
of,
I think I need
series
to
of the actions.
help you with that. Hold on.
Yeah.
Mr. Marcus, how did it feel when you started knowing that all these treatments are being done upon you?
Actually, right before that, I was on leave for 1 week. Actually, I took a leave. So the moment I
Holiday.
came back for work on that day, I knew that things are being removed. Okay, parking lot is no longer there. So it is very, very emotional kind of things. Okay, and you feel not happy about it. Okay, and from that day onwards, you don't feel like going to the office anymore. So it's constantly hit your mind. So until such time that after we tried to negotiate, okay, and somehow it doesn't lead to anything positive. So I don't want to prolong it anymore, okay, because the feeling is no good, okay. So that's why I decided to document everything, and then until such the last day, I decided to just walk off, okay, because I think in this case you have to walk off without giving your resignation letter.
Oh, that's the technicality. Okay. But even, I mean, before you went on your holiday, on your leave, did something happen there? Did you see anything happening?
Well, of course, overall, the direction, there was already a initiative, okay, taken to sort of streamline that kind of things, something like a restructuring kind of things, mini restructuring. That is something ongoing before I went for on leave.
So the background of this story is the restructuring.
Yep.
Then they found reasons to put you on the sideline lah.
Yeah.
Because of that restructuring.
Yeah. I think organization, they will take opportunity at that point in time to
Since we're doing this, we can do that.
Yes.
Oh, licik
they will make use of that opportunity to do whatever they can, I think.
Wow. Okay.
I decided to leave. Actually, and pursue my case with the industrial court. So that's why I end up.
So when you left, what happened? Did you? How did you end up in her books?
that I'm not so sure how it happened, but I think doctor has already explained, right?
Yeah. So did you lawyer it up and brought this to court or something?
Yeah, I went to industrial. What do you call it?
Department.
Department. So I filed my case there, and after negotiation. Somehow there isn't any solution, so the case went up to
Apa sudah IR? IR department?
Jabatan Perhubungan Perusahaan.
Jabatan Perhubungan Perusahaan.
And it is not the Labour Office ya. Different tu, lain tu.
Itu JTK. Jabatan Tenaga
Kerja. Yes.
Okay.
So the trial went on in industrial court.
Okay.
So for a couple of days, but it took them so long to decide also.
Yeah.
Quite long.
I noticed.
I don't know why is it.
But your documentation was very good. I mean,
Well, I felt it was very good. I think I have satisfied the law requirement for that.
I guess it took time to make that decision, I guess. Yeah.
It took time because if I remember correctly, you had written a few letters to your employer.
Yeah, I do. Yes.
And his letters were very well written, very articulate.
Yeah.
I think because you kept a diary, you kept a journal kind of what they did. Satu-satu he spelled out, what they did. This is key. And that is the reason, that is why he ended up in my thesis. Because it is quite rare to find cases where the claimant has actually done part of the lawyer's work, not say part lah, almost all of the lawyer's work, by articulating the case in such a way. The lawyer only has to represent him to talk to the
Formality.
court, formality. But everything else was articulately done, because I remembered in the judgment, in the grounds by the judge actually reproduced what he wrote. That was his voice. That's why I said when I took his voice out, it was his voice. It wasn't the judge talking on his behalf. It was really his voice, because there were letters that he wrote. They were his words, his voice, his pain.
Can we go into details what happened to him?
It's a public document, the case.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a public document.
I mean, yes, it's a public document, but when I read it, like using my head, it was jargon.
Do you have the case with you?
Yeah.
Okay, which part of it was jargon? We can help you
Semua.
to explain.
Semua. Like, even the starting, like, what is this?
Jangan baca case from the start. Kau baca di tengah.
Oh.
Cases jangan baca from
But
the start.
since you're
Since
here,
he can simplify that for you.
so what actually happened to you? What did they do?
Well, physically there's none actually.
Okay.
But it's mostly on subtle kind of things. Okay. In this regard, they have moved me out from my office.
Okay.
And put me in the general office where everybody sits, can see one another.
So before this, you had your own space.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that itself is already a sort of reputational kind of thing.
Yeah.
Malu lah.
Malu lah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the parking lot.
Oh.
They took it away. Even though it's a little things, but then it can cause some emotions there.
People start talking juga lah.
Yeah, start talking.
Alright.
So on the financial part, of course, they did not remove all the, but there is some small elements there that they have taken it out. Okay, and of course, in terms of our responsibilities, it is way less compared to before actually. And even in terms of your authority, your power, it has also diminished.
Oh.
So I guess
It's
that
like
is-
subtly they're saying that we don't really need you anymore. Something like that?
Yeah, and I have negotiated for a way out, but then they did not honor their promise. Okay, they're supposed to sort of arrange for a payment, but they did not honor it, so they just left me like that. So
They transferred you out as well, right?
yeah, and they transfer me down there.
You transferred to a
From
smaller place?
from a region office to a branch.
Oh. They tried to get rid of you.
Indirectly.
It's like these, from what I see lah kan, you know, all these military stories you see in Hollywood where they send officers to Alaska. Kan? Macam tidak diperlukan lah kopi sana macam.
Ya, begitulah.
I didn't know this can happen in Malaysia.
I think it is widely banyak bahkan case-case
Kalau
macam
kau
ni.
cakung ke, kau tukang buat kopi kan mungkin lah, but
You know why it is rare for people to hear about this sort of case? It's because when it happens, satu, they don't know their rights. They don't know it's CD. Like early on, Mr. Marcus has mentioned, he knew it was CD. He knew it was wrong. He knew his rights have been traversed. Tapi di Malaysia, bukan semua orang tahu apabila dia sudah ditindas secara subtle begini, not everybody knows about it, so they don't know what to do.
how did you know?
Well, first I do my own reading also. Then after that I consulted some advice from legal.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah.
Kalau saya mungkin bertahun-tahun baru yang iyalah kan, kena tindas pula ni.
So this is why we're doing this also, partly because we want everyone to know you have rights.
Yeah.
You have rights. And the rights, okay, constructive dismissal is a common law creature, yeah. But your rights, in the event that your employer breaches the contract of employment, is under the IR Act, Industrial Relations Act. Akta Perhubungan Perusahaan
Wow.
1967.
It becomes bigger lah.
Yeah, so kalau kita diberhentikan tanpa sebab yang munasabah, without just cause and excuse, ada satu section 20(1) di mana kita boleh menuntut untuk reinstatement. Diambil semula bekerja, pemulihan kerja namanya actually. Ataupun diberi pampasan keuangan, pampasan financial compensation.
During the process of you documenting these mistreatments on you, how detailed did you go? Like berapa hari, bulan, jam berapa, begitu kah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Kena catat lah. Yang penting tu tarik mesti ada lah. And then what actually happened semua. Yeah. So itu mesti kena apalah. Di-record lah.
And that's what he presented to the court, and that's what I analysed.
During your documentation, adakah orang lain nampak? Oh,
Tiada.
si Marcus tengah ni merepot.
Tidak ada.
So you still have your privacy lah to
Itu kita boleh
log about it.
Ya, log dalam secara senyap-senyap pribadi atau di rumah pun boleh lah tu. You can recollect and then tulis lah.